Hey, Tada, we are back with another video. The page it is South African Late News. The Sons of Merit case is on recess and it will only resume next year on the 19th of January 2025, meaning that you're not going to see Advocate Mnisi for a long time. But nothing stops us from exposing more lies from the stage. But briefly, just want to remind you, Uti, how did Geninda meet Constable Zungu? How did Constable Zungu meet Geninda to create those lies that he told in court? Just listen to Brigadier Geninda telling the court, Uti, how did he get to know about Constable Zungu? And then we'll discuss in much more detail. Danko.
In fact, all the accused were then linked by witness statements that are obtained, including the statement of Constable Zungu that links all the accused to this offense before court, to this matter before court.
Bese kuthi kamsola wesihlanu nowesine phofu bonke ke abasolwa ke bafakwa istatement zofakazi kanye futhi ke naso istatement sakhe ke uConstable Zungu.
Yes, my lord. That's what I recall it is.
Iloko engikhumbulayo.
Now, if you say Constable Zungu and other witnesses, are you able to elaborate on that?
Yes, my lord. There are statements that are obtained. I'm just not sure if those witnesses have testified. But during the course of the investigation, before Constable Zungu's statement was obtained, there were statements obtained which linked all the accused in this offense collectively, from accused 1 to 5, and then those statements are in the docket. That is now other than the statement of Constable Zungu.
Angazi ke noba labo fakazi ke sebezile yini enkantolo kuzokuthula ke ubufakazi la khona ke abasho khona ke noma bachaza ke umbandakanyeka kwabo abasola njengoba behlezi lana ke phambi kwenkantolo.
Now, can we stand still for a moment at the statement of Constable Zungu? When was it obtained?
My lord, it was obtained sometime last year in my recollection, the year 2023, before June. That's when it was obtained, my lord.
Uma ngikhumbula kahle ke kwakunyaka owendlule noma ke unyaka ophelile ke ngoJune noma ngaphambi kukaJune uma kuthathwa ke noma kutholakala sona istatement esika Constable Zungu.
And can you explain to the court the circumstances or what led to you obtaining his statement without referring to any hearsay evidence, please?
Yes. So during the course of the investigations, my lord, that is now after, during the course of the investigation of this matter, the name of Constable Zungu came up as a person who was present at the hostel on the 26th of October 2014. So it came out during the course of the investigations when I was interacting with other witnesses that I've referred to who disposed affidavits.
Umfisho sifuna ukwazi ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ke ngaphandle kokuthi ke usho ke ubufakazi obuyinzwa bathi kodwa ke usho ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ukuthi uthole istatement sakhe ke uConstable Zungu ngisaqhubeka ke ngophenyo noma ngenza uphenyo igama lakhe uConstable Zungu laye lavela ke noma ke lashiwo ke nanjengomunye wabantu noma ke umuntu owaye khona ke lapha ehostel nge-26 zika October 2014.
Subsequent to that, my lord, he was then approached because I received, I think it's more than one statement where his name keep on coming up as the persons who were at the hostel on that day, my lord.
Kwaba ke nesikhathi ke la engayaki noma kwayiwa ke kena ke ngoba ke igama lakhe lalilo nje livela njalo ke kuyitatimende kungasona istatement esodwa nanjengomuntu owaye khona ke khona lapho ngalelo langa.
When I confronted him, my lord, the report I got was that he was fearful of reprisal since he knows the accused.
Uma ngiya kuyena ke noma sengihlangana naye ke wangitshela ke ukuthi ke wayenokusaba owayenako nanjengoba ebazi abasolwa.
But also wanted us, according to what he told me, to do our own investigations without him having to influence us.
kodwa ke okunye awakusho ke ukuthi na ke ukuthi ke noma kumina ke ukuthi ke wayefisa ukuthi sizenzele uphenyo bethu ke ngaphandle kokuthi yena ke abe nomthelela abanawo ukuthina.
He then, my lord, agreed that he will then dispose the statement insofar as what he knows and recall, my lord. And that is how that statement came about, my lord, at a later stage.
Wasevuma ke ukuthi ke uzonikeza ke ngestatement ke malana nalokho akwaziyo ke kamuva kwenzeka lokho ke.
Yeah, Uzizwele, that was your favorite Brigadier Geninda, telling us how he met Constable Zungu. But the problem in the story is that Senzo Mayor died in 2014, but Zungu only makes a statement in 2019. Why was he quiet for so many years? That is the question. Constable Zungu kept quiet for about 4 or 5 years. And remember, Constable Zungu is a policeman. So as a policeman, he should have known that if he's aware of any crime that was committed, he should report it to the police station immediately. Not to immediately. I'm talking about the real immediately. But Constable Zungu kept quiet for about 4 years. That tells me something with the story sakhe lesahlangana. And I couldn't if indeed it happened, he would have gone to the nearest police station immediately. So now I can only come up to one conclusion. That is, Constable Zungu is lying about this whole thing. This entire thing never happened. Those 5 men before court were never at Gwabini's house on the day Senzo was unalived. So I believe that Constable Zungu is being used by Brigadier Geninda in order to implicate all these guys because the state had no case. The state wanted to protect the real shooter of Senzo Mayiwa. We know for a fact who shot Senzo Mayiwa. The statement of Nungihlope tells us that Tumelo Madlala phoned Nungihlope and alleged that Longotwala had shot Senzo Mayiwa by mistake. So the fabrication by Constable Zungu, it is just an imagination. How do we know? Well, just yes, because his own father, Absalom Zungu, came to court and told us that Constable Zungu only went to court to testify because he was promised a promotion by Geninda within the SAPS, allegedly. But that is the evidence of Absalom Zungu, who's the father of Constable Zungu. So now I don't think that Absalom Zungu would lie about his own son, his own flesh and blood. So I believe Absalom Zungu said the truth because ngeke umuntu aqambela amanga ingane yakhe angaka. So ke uBrigadier Geninda and Constable Zungu need to tell us ukuthi indaba, why did they lie to court? Because now we know for a fact that Brigadier Geninda also tried to force Absalom Zungu to make a statement implicating accused number 1 and 2. But Absalom Zungu said, no, I'm not corrupt. I will not do so. Even after he was abused and tortured, he still refused. So we know for the fact now, Gutaibo, the story is Brigadier Geninda, Absalom Zungu amanga. And then Gwabini also came to court and told the court, no, my lord, amanga wodwa lawo. Constable Zungu was not in my house in 2014. He only came a hostel in 2017. So now it means that Constable Zungu, he's telling partly the truth, but now the truth is not the entire truth because it did not happen in 2014. Constable Zungu took the events that happened in 2017 and made it as if they occurred in 2014. That is how Zungu and Geninda are creative. They are trying to create a narrative that these guys planned and executed the killing of Mayiwa in their house. Remember that the state has alleged that these guys work together in common purpose in order to unalive Senzo Mayiwa. Remember that when there's common purpose, it means the crime was planned, and then the sentence, if you found guilty, is much higher if there's proof the murder was planned or was premeditated. That's the word that they use in court. So now Geninda, he's trying his all level best to show us ukuthi labantu laba they planned this crime. But now Gwabini has come to court and told us that no, my lordship, they were never in my house in 2014, but Constable Zungu was in my house in 2017, 3 years after Senzo Miwa had passed away. So now Ukininda, when they were creating this story, they forgot that iqiniso liyavela one day. Iqiniso liyavela one day. They did not think ukuthi uGwabini would come and debunk all the lies that were told by Constable Zungu. And to further prove ukuthi Manga, it is the confessions that were allegedly taken from accused number 1 and 2. Those confessions are not the same, meaning that Amanga lawa, if it indeed happened, then the confession of Ntanzens and then Musibia would be exactly the same. But it's not the same. How so? One talks about Makimbi, of which abangekho labo. Omunye doesn't mention Abo Makimbi, which shows ukuthi the confession was created. How so? We know that the Buthelezi brothers were initially the first people that Gninda wanted to implicate in this crime, allegedly. It is alleged that Buthelezi brothers were the first suspect. And how do you know that? We know for the fact that Ukininda, he went to Kalawusha prison to speak to one of the Buthelezi brothers in order to get some evidence. But the Buthelezi brothers were very smart. They never spoke to Gninda about anything that's relating to the Mayo case. Therefore, Gninda changed his plan allegedly and tried to find better suspects. And he found accused 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is why you see the name of Makimbi being mentioned in one of the confession. It is the initial fabrication by the state. But the state made a mistake, Kuti. When they tried to implicate the Buthelezi brothers, they forgot to check on the day Senzo was unalived. It happens that the Buthelezi brothers, Obo Makimbi, were already in prison when Senzo was shot, meaning that Makimbi and his brother could not have shot Senzo Miwa because they were in jail. So Ubaloye and Gninda had to change the script. So they found Abontanzi, Sibiya, Gadla, Ntuli, and Mapisa. That is how we know what Banamanga state, because they tried to pin the murder of Senzo Miwa to the Buthelezi brothers first. So we are about Gninda. He always tried to find evidence lying at because he wants to solve this case at all costs, even if he puts innocent men in prison. That's how we know which state's Namanga. They tried to pin the murder of Senzo Miwa to the Buthelezi brothers. And one sad thing about it is that one of the brothers was not well upstairs. So Ukininda tried to implicate someone that was not well upstairs for the murder of Senzo Miwa, which is highly unethical for a brigadier. And because he should have known, no, this case Al-Shangani. Why would the Buthelezi brothers being mentioned in one confession, but the other confession does not mention them? Clearly, it was a script written by the police, but the script writers forgot the Buthelezi brothers were in jail on the day Senzo Miwa lost his life, so they could not have shot Senzo Miwa. So what else they did? But okay, no. In order to boost our case, let us get confessions. That is why Ntanzi and Musibia were tortured. They wanted to torture them because they wanted to implicate all 5 guys. If they've got a confession that says those guys were at the hospital, then all 5 guys would then be implicated. So it was Gninda's plan and others allegedly to implicate these guys via confession. But the mistake on the confession was that it was not the same. And remember that Ntanzi also had to do a second confession. Why would Ntanzi had to do a second confession? Clearly the state had forgotten to add some lies in the first confession. That is why Ntanzi had to do a second confession in the presence of Magistrate Tronye. That's it. Because if you tell the truth once, then there won't be a need for a second confession. But the state had lied and they had forgotten to add some lies in the first confession. That is why Ntanzi had to do a second confession. So siyabona ukuthi state sisinama-tricks lamaningi, but what they forgot is that they could not fabricate the DNA evidence. We now know for the fact that the DNA sample taken from the house excluded all 5 men before court from being in the house of the Khumalos. If the DNA excludes you, it simply means that you are not there. So the DNA excludes accused 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning that they were not there. So if they were not there, then they did not shoot Senzomenyu. So Gininda is trying by all means to say no, DNA 1% matches. No. In court, a 71%. The DNA percent has to be 99.99999%. In this case, Gininda is saying no, 1% it shows. No, maybe they were there and so on, but no. That DNA expert that came to court said the DNA exclude all 5 men before court. If those guys were in the house, at least the DNA of Ntanzi and Gadla Mncube should be there, because we were told by the state that Ntanzi and Gadla were the 2 intruders that went into the house and demanded cell phone and money. But the DNA says otherwise. So, which is why Gininda had to rely on Constable Zungu and the confessions. Without the confessions and the evidence of Constable Zungu, the state has no case. The state has no case. Which is why I'm happy with Ugwabini and Absalom Zungu came to court to debunk all the lies of Constable Zungu. So now, with that, the judge, if he was fair and honest, he would throw out the evidence of Constable Zungu, because 2 people have said Constable Zungu is lying, he was not there. Gwabini said no, these guys were not in my house in 2014. They were only here in 2017. So Constable Zungu lied under oath. So Absalom Zungu also proved that his son is lying by saying why. So now Judge Ratha, if he was a fair man, he would throw away the evidence of Constable Zungu, because it is clear that Constable Zungu unamanga wayengekho lapha on the day Senzo was shot. And then we move on to the telephone records kaGadla Mncube. This is one of my favorite evidence. It says, Section 205 kaGadla Mncube, it says, at the same time when Senzo was shot, his cell phone pinged in Johannesburg CBD, meaning that Gadla Mncube was in Johannesburg CBD when Senzo was shot. So he could not have been in Phosphorus, because Gadla cannot be in 2 places at once, because Bagoetu, he is not the Holy Spirit. So Gadla Mncube is not the shooter of Senzomenyu. If Gadla is cleared by the cell phone records, then the rest of the guys were clearly not there. But Ubalo still insists, no. He is saying, no. Gadla Mncube left his cell phone somewhere in Joburg and then went to commit a crime without his cell phone. But now, if he is saying that, then the defense can say, okay, if you're saying Ntanzi phoned people when he was in prison, Mnisika can say, no. It was not Ntanzi. It was someone else. It was Ntanzi or somewhere else. So you see, Mnisika can play that game if the state wants to. But you cannot change the facts, Uguti. The telephone records of Gadla Mncube says he was in Johannesburg CBD at the same time when Senzo was shot. And then we move on. The gun. The smoking gun that shot Senzomenyu. We were told that it is a 9mm. We were told by who? By Chris Mangena, the so-called renowned expert when it comes to ballistic. He says the gun that shot Senzomenyu is a 9mm. However, the guys that were in the house says the gun had a wheel, meaning that it was a revolver. So Umangena